Yeah, Minna. It's me again. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, welcome. I'm not usually like this. This is my first time in a onesie on camera. I mean, I have worn this onesie. It's like my annual Christmas period onesie. It's obviously Totoro, but we're not here to talk about that. Nor, oopsie, are we here to talk about my Grimjo lamp. But we are talking about it because we love Grimjo, and I love that every time I take a picture of him or anything, like his face blurs out and like all the focus is on his abs for some weird reason. And I know that non-anime watchers that may be watching this video be like, this one's a bit weird, but just welcome to the community, innit? But yeah, we're here to talk about my top 4 animes of 2020, and yeah, I haven't watched all the animes this year, I'm sorry. So this is just like my current list at the moment. I mean, I only have 1 week left of 2020 anyway, but I'm probably gonna watch a few of the animes that were released this year later on, probably next year, just because your girl works. And you know, we don't, like, if I had all the time in the world to watch every single anime that was released this year, I would. There's so many animes that I've heard about, which everyone's been raving on about, and I'm just there like, oh my god, I need to watch it, but I just don't have the time, you guys. It's really sad, I don't have the time. But so I'm just going to tell you about the 4 animes that I think were like the best for me personally. You guys could obviously disagree, of this year, and we're gonna start off with Dorohedoro. Don't know how many of you guys have watched it, but it is incredible. It's on Netflix, go watch it. Blah. So we're gonna start off with, what is Dorohedoro about? It's about this guy called Kaiman. He is a human with an alligator head, and within the alligator head there's a man's head, which isn't Kaiman's head. So it sounds really weird, and you're just there like, what are you on about? You're not even making sense. And it will make sense in a minute. But it is quirky, it's weird, and that's what makes Dorohedoro amazing. But yeah, so Kaiman lives in this universe where there's like 2 dimensions. The dimension that he lives in is called the Whole. And as the name probably, you know, insinuates, it's not a very nice place to be, you guys. The Whole is like this dystopia, and it's got like this, not entirely cyberpunk, but kind of got cyberpunk vibes. That's kind of in like the slums of this like urban sprawl. It's just not a very nice place to be, and this is where us humans unfortunately live. And a lot of the humans in this dimension have weird animal body parts like Kaiman. So they'll have like an alligator head, or like a bug arm, or like, I don't know, an eagle head or something, some weird stuff like that. Although there are some humans that are intact, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for why some of these humans have animal body parts, and it's because of the sorcerers who live in the other dimension. And we don't actually know what this dimension is called. I googled it and I couldn't find it. Unless I'm being an idiot, someone tell me. But I don't think we know what it's called just yet. So the dimension in which the sorcerers live is a lot nicer than the Whole. And it's still got a dystopian vibe, because the person who runs that dimension is called N, who is our main villain. And he runs that dimension in this mafia-like style, like fashion. So again, not the nicest of places to be, but at least everyone there has magical powers, so that, you know, they can fend for themselves, unlike the humans who live in the Whole. And these sorcerers will go from their dimension to the Whole and do all these weird experiments on the humans, which is obviously sickening and gross, and we would hate to see it in real life. So, you know, we hate to see it in the anime. That's you know, we feel with them, we feel their pain, so you relate to the characters obviously. And Kaiman is also someone who suffers from amnesia, so he doesn't know how he got the alligator head and who casted that spell on him in the first place. So the entire premise is basically this alligator head man going on an adventure, this journey to find, with his best friend Nikaido, by the way, who I will tell you about in a minute, to find out who is the sorcerer that, you know, gave him an alligator head, and see if he can get his memories back and also his head back, and find out who on earth is the man in his head, because why is there a man's head within an alligator head? Make it make sense. There is none. But yeah, as with most shonen anime, like adventure animes, it's not as simple as it seems. It's not as simple as him getting his memories back. It's not as simple as him getting his head back. There's a lot of plot twists, ones that you don't see coming, which is what keeps you on your toes. The world is so vast and incredible, like traveling between the two dimensions. Like the world building of the whole, more so than the sorcerer's dimension, is amazing. The art style, like the background drawings, are incredible, so you really feel like you're being immersed into a whole other world. It's great. And all the characters are amazing as well. So you've got, you know, your main character who's Kaiman, who's like, you know, really strong-willed, but he's also so dopey, and he's kept, like, you know, on a leash, like kept on the reins by his friend Nikaido, who's, you know, sometimes has her shit together, but not all the time. Like, the more you learn about her, the more complex her character becomes. And she's an amazing chef. Apparently she can cook like the best gyoza in the dimensions, and she is pretty badass considering the fact that she gets really violent when she needs to. So, you know, the characters are likable, and on top of that, the villains are also just as likable. Not so much En, who is like the mafia-esque leader, but his minions, Noi and... hang on a sec, I forgot his name. His name was Shin, sorry. But yeah, Shin is very likable. He's a tsundere through and through. He's very cool, charismatic at times. He'll just shoot people down when he needs to. He's pretty freaking cool. But he's also got a little bit of a soft spot at times. Especially for Noi, who is his partner, the other minion that I was telling you about. She's literally such a lovable character. She's so happy-go-lucky. She's like this female bodybuilder. Like, she just lives in her own little world. But when she needs to beat people up, she will beat people up. So all of these characters are pretty bloody violent, and this whole show is pretty freaking violent. So if you're into, like, you know, shonen animes where there's a lot of battles and fighting and adventuring, this is one of the good ones. This is one of the better ones, one of the ones that I actually pretty freaking like. So yeah, although I think it's seinen. I need to double check. But yeah, watch Dorohedoro. The characters are lovable. The world building is incredible. You'll be on an adventurous journey. So yeah, definitely watch it. And the next one on my list is, give me a sec. So the next anime on my list is Jujutsu Kaisen. You guys have seen me rave on about it in another video. So, you know, hence why it's going to be in this video again, because I'm pretty freaking there. I'm very much enjoying it at the moment. It's an ongoing show, so it's not finished yet, but I am loving it, and it's exciting, and it's like, honestly, I think everyone should watch Jujutsu Kaisen. But if I had to say between Dorohedoro and Jujutsu Kaisen, Dorohedoro, don't kill me. Actually, saying that, I feel like Gojo is literally the only other reason where I feel like, you know what? No. Let's watch Jujutsu Kaisen over all of them, okay? So, Jujutsu Kaisen, if you don't already know, and if you haven't watched my previous videos, it's about this boy who, you know, as like most shonen animes go, stumbles across this power he accidentally gets, and he gets this power by eating a curse's finger. Yeah, curses are like these monsters, and he's just a normal human boy. He stumbles across this like scary looking curse in his school, and he has to fight it, and on accident he eats the finger of a curse, and as such he has this power. And then he's taken by a sensei called Gojo, who we all love and would like to marry. Yes. Yeah, so he gets taken by the sensei to the Jujutsu Tech school, and he kind of trains to become a sorcerer who fights, you know, these curses, these monsters that are called curses. But again, like I said, for Dorohedoro, the story is not that simple. There's a bigger agenda that he needs to, you know, solve the mystery to, and also as part of his journey he has to collect all the other fingers of this curse. So he ate the one finger of a curse, and he needs to eat the other like 9 fingers of the curse, which doesn't really sound that pleasant, but he needs to do that because that's what the school requires him to do in order for them to exorcise that curse. So yeah, it's basically his journey finding these other fingers and also uncovering the mystery behind some other curses which are more intelligent. So most curses are kind of like dumb monsters, so they're kind of just like beasts that like roam around and go around, like people like, you know, sorcerers, jujutsu sorcerers kind of like kill them, but they've discovered like special like ranked curses which have like intelligence that matches like human intelligence, who are plotting something. What they're plotting we don't know yet. The manga readers probably already know, but I'm not a manga reader, so I don't know, so it's all a mystery for me. But yeah, so here we are with another shonen anime, which is not something you'd expect from me, but again, it's very adventurous and I'm really feeling it at the moment. So yeah, I think if you guys are into just a basic shonen that's easy to digest. I just merged the 2 words together and then you got easy. But anyway, easy to digest, you should watch Jujutsu Kaisen. Or if you just, I feel like the main and sole reason of watching Jujutsu Kaisen is purely for the ending song when Gojo Sensei comes out and he does a little dance and you just feel like, wow, why is he not real? Why? But yeah, the next anime on my list is The Great Pretender. Again, this is another one some of you guys should have seen coming if you've watched my other videos. So as I mentioned with Jujutsu Kaisen, I mentioned it in another video that was about, again, another anime list of videos. But Great Pretender got a whole video on its own because that's how much I love it. And that's how you know I will push everyone and anyone to watch The Great Pretender, because it's incredible. Literally, the plot is incredible, the way it's executed is incredible. But before I hype about it and get excited about how much I love The Great Pretender, let me just give you an overview on what it's about. A quick one, because you know what, you guys can watch the other video. Again, I'll put it in the link, put the link in the description below so you guys can check it out, so you can, you know, see a proper review on what I think of The Great Pretender. So it's basically a group of international swindlers who go around the whole world conning rich, corrupt people. It's as simple as that, guys. Robin Hood vibes, you know? Just think of a group of international people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, meeting each other and doing, you know, something for the greater good in a weird, messed up, illegal way. That is The Great Pretender in a nutshell. And I feel like you guys need to watch it. And like I've said before, I absolutely adore and am obsessed with this anime. hang on, I'm just reading my notes so I don't fall off topic. But the first reason why I absolutely love this anime and why I think you guys need to watch it is because of its unique animation style, how they've literally put the contrast literally up here, and everything's so bright, and like it's just a refreshing take on like the animation style. It's different. It's always nice to watch an anime that has a different animation style compared to most of, you know, the traditional anime format. And the second reason, the main reason why I absolutely love this anime is because of how international it is. I've raved on about this on my Twitter. I raved on about this in the video, if you guys watch it, about how incredibly international the cast is, as in like the characters themselves. I don't know about the voice actors, but the characters themselves are from all different walks of life. The research the production studio has put into The Great Pretender and making sure that it translates well across all cultures is incredible. And that's what I absolutely love about this anime, because you don't get this often, you really don't, and it's so refreshing to see an anime that actually embraces how globalized the world has become. You know, we all have access to different cultures, to different types of people. So like, we need to get to know everyone, right? And be respectful of their cultures, be respectful of who they are. So The Great Pretender does that really well, and that's what I love about it. And the last but not least anime that I have fallen in love with is Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. I think that's how you pronounce Eizouken. I think that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, it's called Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. And when I first watched it, I wasn't entirely sure about it. It took me a good few episodes. I was, should I continue with this? I kind of didn't continue with it for a while. Then I came back to it, and then I was like, oh my god, I love this anime. And it's basically about these three girls called Asakusa, Kanamori, and Mizusaki. I needed to make sure I was like saying the right names because I'm forgetful. About these three girls who are very, very different to each other in character. And the only thing that binds these three girls is their love for anime and animation, and their, you know, hopes to create an anime like for themselves. But instead of joining the anime club as most normal people would have done, they didn't do that because they have some, you know, differing principles to the anime club. So they created their own club called the Eizouken, which is the film club. But the problem lies in the fact that they're not creating live action films, they're creating anime films. And because of this, they're constantly being harassed throughout the series by the school council because they're not doing what they said they would do. You know, be a film club. Instead, they're basically being another anime club. So that is their problem with the school council, and it's just like how they tackle those issues. But more than that is, we're so lucky enough to see how these girls go through their process of creating an anime, especially a low budget anime, because you know, they're high school students, they don't have like top notch like technology, they don't have the funds, so it's just like how they go about creating low budget animes. And it's so interesting to see how low budget animes are made, and it's so I love Asakusa so much because of the way we are constantly thrown into her imagination, because I feel like that is the core factor of anime, right? Imagination. It's whatever the creator or the mangaka has come up with in their heads as a story to put on paper, to put onto a storyboard, to put onto the screen. And it's just so exciting to see how these girls do it. So I want to rave on about this anime just a little bit. Just, you guys can skip this if you want, but I just need you guys to understand why I absolutely love this anime. And it's for three main reasons. The first one is the different art styles in the animation, which you don't get often because usually one animation style is used throughout an anime. But in this anime, I noticed 3 different animation styles, and it was just so interesting to see the transition between each of the styles and how the creators went about it. Number 2 was just seeing, like I mentioned already to you guys, the creative processes behind creating an anime. And 3, how incredible Asakusa's imagination is, because 1 and 3 are intrinsically linked, by the way, purely because of the fact that Asakusa, who is the main character, I would say, she's very like hyper. Like she has like 5 different ideas going on in her head. So like within each episode, we're seeing like 4 or 5 story ideas that she comes up with. And her, for example, her club mates would be like, can we focus on this one? Like we have a project that we need to complete and you need to stop bouncing around from here to there to this. Like just focus on one. But it's just fun seeing her be this excited about what she loves, which is, you know, anime. And so what we see in Eizouken, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, is 1, we see like an artistic style, for example, like a drawing style animation where we're immersed in Asakusa's head. So whatever's happening, for example, we might be battling robots in space, or we might be, you know, driving submarines and having like, you know, ship battles under the sea or something. Like there's always something going on in that girl's head. And whenever we kind of get immersed into those worlds, those alternate realities that happens inside this little girl's head, the animation style becomes like a drawing style. But then when she's talking seriously to her club mates and she's sketching out the story, the actual like a coherent story, then we see a storyboard style of animation. So we're literally seeing actual storyboards, and it's pretty freaking cool when you think about it. And that kind of like links to the creative process to side of things when it comes to anime. And then there's the whole, and then there's the main animation style, which is just her living her life in real life with her club mates. And it's just fun to see because the transitions are so neat. Like you don't ever feel like anything's offbeat. Like it feels almost natural. The transitions feel almost natural, and I just love seeing that girl's imagination, man. Like honestly, that's the key thing here. And I feel like that really brings home and reminds you of what we all loved about childhood, which is using your imagination, which I feel like a lot of people lose as they get older because they can't bring themselves to immerse themselves in something that might be considered weird. But as a kid, nothing's weird. Everything's exciting, everything's intriguing, and you're reminded of that in this anime, and that's what I love. Like genuinely, that's what I absolutely loved more than anything, more than seeing the creative process, more than seeing the transitions between the different animation styles, is the fact that we're always being thrown around in all these different worlds. And the thing is, really and truly, the actual story is based in the real world. And thanks to Asakusa, we get to see hundreds of different types of worlds. And I love that. I do. So you guys, please, please, please Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. It's wholesome, it's lovely, it's imaginative, it's creative. I can't rave on enough about it. All 4 of these animes I absolutely love. Some more than others, obviously. But yeah, again, just watch it and enjoy it. And obviously I've left off tons of other animes out there because I've not yet watched it. So if you guys have like a favourite anime of 2020, let me know, recommend it to me so I can put it on my plan to watch list if I haven't already, you know, planned to see it, or if I haven't already watched it. Just let me know, give me your thoughts, subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Insta, follow me on Twitter at the Bakahime as per the page's name. So yeah, peace and thank you for sticking around.